Hello, everyone. We're back. Second one of the day. We're at the Ord compound, beautiful Nashville, Tennessee. And this time I'm joined by an amazing artist, Creatress. She does AR, XR, VR, every single R you've ever heard of, 3D sculpting. She actually released her first ordinal. So we're going to talk about that in a minute. But before we do that, Creatress, how are you doing? How's the compound been so far?
The compound. Hi, thank you for having me, first of all. I'm doing great. Beautiful day, just getting started. This is my first order of business, besides, getting ready and
We're
started.
forcing people to wake up early to do
It's
these.
it's 11.
It's
It's
11.
11 here.
Yes, yes.
And we did have a late night, but I'm feeling great. Actually, didn't sleep that much, but surprisingly, I think I'm running on excitement.
Nice, nice. I would say there is excitement in the air. It's palpable. Okay. So yeah, if you're not running on 2 hours of sleep, like you're not taking advantage of the conference,
Right.
so get back
Right.
out there. So maybe let's just start off with, as an artist, like, so when did you get started with art? How did you get into this whole, like, because the whole AR, XR, VR is a brand new world, pretty much. It's like, the first artist maybe 20 years ago, I feel like, started actually doing this, and the technology was so limited. Now we're in this like up curb revolution of, new products coming out, new artists. So yeah, how'd you get started?
How to get started with art? I think the first actual time I remember was like mud pies when I was like
Okay, nice.
six with my cousin, getting like super dirty with it, but
Hmm.
like having so much fun. And then that went to like sixth grade, making ceramic bowls
Oh,
on
nice.
a potter's wheel at school,
Great.
which was like
Also,
then
your
yeah.
school had a pottery class. It's in sixth grade. It's
In,
amazing.
I went to the museum school. It's a charter school in San Diego. Shout out to the museum
Ah,
school. I
okay.
would not be an artist, I don't think,
Beautiful.
had I not gone there for sixth grade. And yeah, that was that. And then, art classes, and then eventually went to art school, of
Okay,
course.
nice.
Took all the mediums.
Okay, beautiful.
You know,
So that's
um,
why you're on the new medium. You went through every medium in art school, and we said, okay, let's hit a new one.
exactly. And it's got to do a lot with sculpture too, because of course I took sculpture
Yeah,
in art school. I took glass blowing, which is a
nice.
type of sculpture as well. Um, and I accumulated a lot of sculptures. And as artists, especially if you're very prolific, you end up with a lot of stuff,
Yes.
especially if you're making sculptures. So storage quickly became an issue, and then the sculptures degrade over time. And guess what? In VR, when you're sculpting in 3D, that is a digital sculpture. So
Totally.
there's no storage. I mean, yeah, cloud storage,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
but that's easier to come
I can
by.
I could just pay a little bit more and keep adding more sculptures. Yeah,
Yes. And so that was one of the big reasons why now
nice.
I'm sculpting digitally.
Awesome. So when did you first start sculpting digitally? How long ago?
I started in 2021. January
Okay, nice.
2021 was the
Cool.
first time I tried it.
Yeah, I was gonna say in the future, I don't know yet, but like in 10 years, anyone who's pre Apple Vision Pro, it's gonna be like, whoa, you were pre Apple Vision Pro? Intense. You were in the
Yeah.
early era.
Yep, I definitely was pre Apple Vision Pro. I actually haven't tried it.
Oh, really?
We were just talking about that recently, because it's been out for about 6 months,
Yeah.
and I've been based in Maui for the past 2 years.
Oh, nice.
Amazing, love it.
Also, wait, you're in Maui and you're putting on VR head goggles and work. Come on, now I wouldn't be.
Well, it's all about
Yeah,
balance, right? I spend a lot of time in nature, a lot of time at the beach,
nice.
but I'm a tech person. I
Yeah,
love
totally.
tech. I've always loved tech, so that's kind of my midway. But yeah, honestly, I forgot my
No worries.
comment,
So
where I
when you
was
were
going with it.
sculpting originally, like pre anything digital here, what were you like sculpting? What was the sculptures? Yeah, the mesh medium. The
I have there's a range. One I'll mention a couple. One sculpture that I made that was in an art show back in about 2016, was it was like the top half of a mannequin that was converted into like a projector that I made.
okay.
And it was painted, and there was, I mean, there was just elements of like the human figure, women mainly, and then a projection coming out of like the boob part.
Okay, nice.
I know, right? And, and then another sculpture that I have that was also in an exhibition at San Diego State where I went,
Nice.
was a mannequin, the legs. So it's the bottom. So, say it's like from here down,
Hmm.
mannequin legs. I put tights on, and I added a live plant, like a
Okay.
live aloe plant.
Oh,
So
cool.
like a bio sculpture type
Okay,
thing,
cool,
found
cool.
object with, um, with plants, with a plant that I found, a nice big aloe. What's another sculpture? My glass blown sculptures.
Mm.
I've made a few orbs. I've made some pictures out of glass. A bunch of paperweights.
Okay, nice, nice.
Um, yeah, I could go on, but that's what comes
Cool.
off.
So,
Yeah.
so when you went over to digital, then what did you find yourself exploring first? Were you saying, okay, I was making these things physically, now let me make
Mhm.
them digitally, or was it okay, I could do crazy new stuff, So yeah, what was the early era when you first started in 2021 doing the digital sculpting?
It was just what can I make? Like, let me just learn the tool,
Yeah,
right? Because it's like learning a whole new program. Like when you learn Photoshop for the first time or Blender, which
I've been trying to learn
you know,
Photoshop for a decade, and Canva came out, and I gave up finally. It's been great.
I, don't hate on Canva,
Oh,
y'all.
I'm not hating. I love it.
No, I know you're not, but I'm just saying for anybody who's out there listening, who's like, oh, Canva. And it's like, no, actually, Canva is pretty close to Photoshop
Yeah.
without like the 10-year learning curve.
No,
And the
exactly.
$80 a month
Yeah,
Adobe, come on, bro.
yeah.
So yeah, no, I don't use Photoshop. I haven't used Photoshop since university
Oh,
when I
nice.
had to do digital design, and that was like
Yeah,
what we used in class.
totally,
Yeah.
totally. So what were the first like tools you were using for digital sculpting? Like the programs or the actual uh, goggles you were using, or
Yeah, the first VR headset that I used was the MetaQuest Pro.
okay,
Back in the day, it was still owned by Oculus
yes,
before Meta acquired them. And it happened just like right around the time that I got the headset. So then that was that transition. That was my first one. And the app is called Gravity Sketch.
okay, cool.
I tried one other one. I think it was like the Google version. I can't. The
Like the
name
HTC
escapes me.
Vive or something, or one of those, or
No, 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 not a different headset, a
oh, different
different
program.
app. Yeah, I the name is escaping me right now,
Okay,
but
no worries.
Gravity Sketch is my
And,
my one
and that's
that
what you're
I
using still.
every time.
Nice, nice,
Yeah,
cool. Yeah,
pretty loyal. Gravity Sketch, if you're listening, I would love to be an ambassador.
yes, yes. Sponsor.
Literally,
Yeah,
I,
yeah,
I
yeah.
use it all the time,
Nice.
and I recommend people to use it because it was free back in the day. I think it's still only like $30.
Oh,
It's
nice.
amazing.
Way better than the Photoshop. You're every month I'm paying way
No,
too much money.
yeah,
So
I know about that.
yes, I'm kind of curious then. What's the evolution been like? So starting in 2021, you're just experimenting, you're learning the tools. Now you've been in it for a little while, right?
Right.
Like you have 4 years now. You've been digitally sculpting. What has the evolution been like? Where have you seen your art go with now you're learning the tools better?
Well, I think as I started learning the tools, I learned I could actually make stuff that I wanted to make, not just abstract. Although I love abstract. Um, but the evolution, I think, it started just making sculptures. Now I can make more of an environment.
Mm,
Now I know how to make a lot of small detail. I know how to bring in specific environments, which has opened up a whole new thing for also sponsorships for my different tour stops.
mhm.
Because, for example, the Nouns, which love the Nouns now,
Me too.
yeah, who doesn't love the Nouns? But yeah, they got the Noggles. So for one of my performances, that they sponsored, I had like the environment was all Noggles.
Nice.
The 360 virtual environment that I was sculpting in
Yeah.
was like a custom thing. So that's been really fun. What else? Yeah, just learning how to access all the tools better and every like different setting helps me when I perform because then I can just more easily and like smoothly transition between things.
Totally. So that's definitely something very different than physical sculpture. When you think of a sculpture, here's a sculpture. You don't think of here's a sculpture. Here's the whole room I've designed, right? So it's definitely like a step up for you design your art gallery and the sculpture inside of there. So when you started doing that, how did you start figuring out like the Noggle? That's a good example of you're working with the nouns. How do you think of like do you build the environment first and then the sculpture, or you like sculpture then environment?
So so basically, okay, just a distinction. So every time I go into the Gravity Sketch studio, you're in this like 360 environment, and like the default one is like an art gallery, like an industrial looking art gallery,
Yeah.
and they have a bunch of different presets that you can flip through. It could just be an all black room. It could be an all white room. It could
Gotcha.
be like a gradient of colors that you choose. And so um, within that, they also let you upload your own HDRI, is what they're called, which is like a 360 kind of panoramic photo, like a long landscape that they wrap around
Gotcha. Yes,
as
yes.
360. So I'm not necessarily like building that environment. I just want to be clear because I don't want to,
Sure.
so I'm not building that environment. I'm just uploading a photo. Usually it's a photo that I designed or, put together, or artwork. And and then that is what gets chosen and
Gotcha.
put on as a thing. So it's not so much like building it like
Totally,
that,
totally.
but then I build the sculpture within that environment.
Totally. You're
Yeah,
picking the place. Like, if you could, where are you going to sculpt? I'm going to sculpt here. I want to sculpt. Well, I would sculpt where you actually live. I'd be sculpting in Maui if I could just choose.
that's a good idea. Actually, I've never uploaded a photo from Maui. as the 360 environment.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do that.
There we
I have
go.
a performance tonight. I'm gonna do that
So
for a little bit.
beautiful. Okay, good. Okay, so whatever you sell, I get a little bit of commission. I'm just joking. So you keep performance. What does your performances look like? How does that actually like your sculpting lot is the idea?
Yes. So I'm okay. Let me paint the picture for you. I'm here. I'm wearing my VR headset. Okay, wearing it. I got two controllers, one here, one here, and this is what makes the sculpture happen. So you in the audience are looking at me, and behind me is usually a screen,
Mm,
a big screen,
yeah,
and that screen is showing exactly what I'm looking at
totally.
via Bluetooth. They're usually Bluetooth connected from the headset to the screen,
Nice.
and then the audience can see every single move. And every time I move my head, the whole camera moves
Yeah,
because it's the VR headset, right? And then there's music. There's an element of music.
nice.
I make a curated playlist,
Cool.
um, and
What,
there's
what, what are the vibes for the curated playlist for tonight?
excuse me.
What are the vibes for the playlist tonight?
Ooh, the vibes for the playlist tonight are always a little bit of Latin, a little
Okay.
bit of you know, slow build up at the beginning. It'll be a little bit of violin. I
Okay.
like really like visceral music,
Mm,
the type of thing that starts and you like immediately like just want to move or like it like inspires you to move or do
yeah,
something. So that's kind of always the vibe.
totally. Okay, nice. Yeah. When did you start doing the performances after you started doing the 3D sculpting?
The first performance was November 5th, 2021
Oh,
at
nice. So you started right. You were sculpting and then we're performing. That's
pretty
good.
much. Yeah, it just it happened very naturally. I just responded to an inquiry about like who wants to do live painting at this satellite event during NFT NYC,
Mm,
and I was like, oh, I've done live painting because I've done live painting,
yeah, yeah,
and uh, and then when it came down to it, I was like, well, I could do this other thing.
yeah.
If you guys have a projector and Wi-Fi, and they're like, sure, try it, and
Nice.
it worked, and I loved it, and the response from it was so like it was really powerful. And I remember even the next day looking at the photos from the performance for the first time, and I literally cried. I was like, "Oh my god, like that's me? Like what?
Yeah,
Like I think I just found something."
totally.
And then from there I've just continued. I've done about 30 performances so
Oh
far.
wow, awesome.
Yeah.
That's a yeah, that's good. I was saying every time you're on stage,
Yeah.
it's worth so much more than being in a studio alone. I would love to like understand how have they evolved the performances from 1 to 30?
Mm. There's been so many things. I learned something every time. So I've learned how to kind of more smoothly figure out the tech, right? Because there's a lot of things that need to go right when you're
Oh yeah.
working with tech and art.
Oh yeah.
And when you're relying on a few different tech things to go right. So, Wi-Fi, software updates. One time there was a software update right before my performance. I was just like, all right, I need 5 minutes.
Yep.
The headset is updating. Now the controllers are updating.
Yep.
No, the music has evolved. Every single time there's a different playlist. Sometimes some songs overlap, but it very much relates to like what I'm into at the time, like my favorite songs at the time. I've collaborated now with live music
Oh cool. Awesome.
musicians, many musicians. I've got my friend Out of Body. Shout out to Out of Body. He did whistling. He does a whistle, really good whistle.
Nice.
Uh, yes, he performed with me at Blunts and Brunch in NFT NYC.
I think I know some friends that went to this.
To Blunts and
I
Brunch.
know. Someone was saying I went to I remember there's like a whistling performance with some live art. I remember friends telling me I was in NFT NYC.
Yeah,
I think it might have been this event. Yeah.
I don't know that many other people that were doing
Yeah.
this
I don't know. Yeah.
thing.
The live whistling. Yeah. That's the one that stuck out with me.
Well, yes. Shout out to Out of Body. He does beautiful whistle. And he also does flute. So the first performance we did together, he whistled for about 5 minutes, and then in Austin for Consensus, we did a follow up. He did his flute. He also
Nice.
plays the flute really
Nice.
well. So that was the intro, and then from there, after the flute was done, it went into music,
Okay.
my
Cool.
usual
Nice.
music. So it was started off really setting the mood, and then I've also performed with DJs as
Okay. Cool.
well. I've got to perform at Nebula nightclub in New York, which is like a legit nightclub with
So you're
screens
just
on the
painting and people
ceiling.
are just partying, dancing.
I was in like a little section,
Yeah.
like a little section they had for me, and I had my friends there with me and stuff, and then on the screens behind the DJ, above the dance floor,
Love
like
that.
was all the stuff.
Also, I
It was
love
really
the
fun.
idea of being like, who are those people over there? It's like, those are the artists. Like in the club, like they're making art right now. Look, it's over there. I want to get not VIP. I want the artist, VIP.
Oh my god, it was like the culmination of all my favorite things because I've always loved like the club scene, but I look, that sounds weird. I love dancing.
Yeah.
I love music. I love hanging out with my friends and dancing with my friends. And best of all, having our own private area to
Oh
dance and
yeah.
not be disturbed. And, so it was like, I got a VIP section. I'm making art. My art's on all the screens. My friends are all
Yeah,
here. It
totally.
was like, and it was also my birthday. So
Oh,
one of my friends,
nice.
oh my gosh, it was, yeah, Nebula nightclub. That was in 2022 during NFT NYC. It was the Rad event. It was the NFT NYC after party, official after party, and yeah, that was put on by Rad, and my friend JJ Love actually hooked me up with that performance. So shout out to both of them.
So it sounds like we need a residency. You got to find a residency for you where you're doing. That sounds like a. I would want to go to a club more if I was like, and they'll be live digital sculpting. I'm like, cool. There you go. I can find. I'm awkward at the club. I'm like, cool. I can look at art. This is good. I'll hold my drink and dance.
Yes. Oh my gosh. If anyone's listening, I would love a residency at a club. Actually, and right now I'm kind of in between I'm in transition, right? I'm trying to decide where I'm gonna live next.
Mm.
So in general, I've been thinking like a residency would be one of the things that I should be looking into, right? Because in you're talking about a club residency, that's
Hmm.
different than what I'm thinking. I was
Yeah, yeah.
thinking more of like an art residency
No,
where
an
they
art.
give you
No,
a place
yeah,
to stay and you just
yeah.
make art for a certain amount of time. I would love to do that with a club or with a museum or art
Totally.
organization. So just putting that out there.
Okay, nice, nice, nice. We're gonna get this right. This is, if you don't know, everyone's watching us. All the top curators museum. So one thing also I think that's pretty interesting. You know, doing all this stuff live, and you were talking a lot of NFT stuff. Like, what are you capturing to show people at the end, right? Because you're producing, like, it's not just the final output. There's this whole process of actually building it live. So, like, yeah, how do you think about that? Do you think that's like part of the art? Is that just the process of making the art, or
Yeah, that's a fun question, right? Is it the live performance that's the art, or is it the sculpture that I made during the live performance,
Yeah,
or is it a video or a photo of me during the live performance, right? I think it's all of the above. I started the first performance I did. The way I did it was I made two sculptures because you can have layers in Gravity Sketch. So I made a few layers, a few different sculptures. Also, I took a break in between that one. So anyway, so what I did was I minted the first layer, just the first layer of edition of five. And then the final piece was minted as a one of one, and it was auctioned.
okay, nice,
So that was the first thing I did. The first performance I ever did, I minted the sculptures.
nice.
Every single time it's kind of changed, but pretty much always it's a 3D GLB
Cool.
sculpture. Most marketplaces allow them, not all of them.
Yeah.
So it has
You want
evolved
to call
on.
anyone out?
No, no, but no, in Origin it was nice,
Yeah,
and
yeah, yeah. R.I.P.
yeah, I spent a lot of ETH gas on minting my sculptures there.
Oh,
So I'm
okay.
kind
Well,
of
we need to work on saving them because they said they'll pay 2 years is they're gonna keep them up. You heard that, right?
I honestly haven't looked too far into it. I was just kind of sad about it.
Yeah,
And we've been in Nashville, so I haven't been worrying about it too much.
yeah,
But
yeah,
since you
yeah.
brought it up, I'm like, well, but no. So I've minted on several platforms and always depended on, do they support GLB,
Totally.
right? Do they have a GLB viewer so that way people can like zoom in and like the 3D sculpture turns on its own. Yeah.
Nice. So it sounds like, I mean, you've been like OG NFT, right? You're describing performing at early OG events here. When did you first end up in the scene?
Yeah, early 2021. I was on Clubhouse.
Okay, nice. There you go. And everything starts at Clubhouse.
So yeah. January 2nd, 2021 was my Clubhouse birthday. And I only know that because it says there at the bottom,
Hmm.
right?
Hmm.
And that's literally when I think NFTs really
No,
started there.
it was, yeah.
That's when it right. So I was there, and honestly, it took me a while to mint. I wish sometimes that I had just gone ahead and minted when
Yeah,
everybody started minting, but I was like, oh no, I need to wait. I need to like,
yeah.
yeah. But I was there
Nice,
for sure.
nice. I was to say Clubhouse. It's wild. It's hard to tell people. It's like, well, we have Twitter Space. Like, no, Clubhouse was different. Okay, it was a moment in time where you're like, wait, Mark Andreessen is on stage with Mark Cuban, and I'm in the stage too. It
Right.
was
And
a
Gary V's here too.
Gary, exactly. It was a wild, wild world. So so now you've actually put something. You made an ordinal, right?
Yes.
And so I was going to say, you're putting GLBs.
Not yet.
Okay, okay.
So, hey, anyone listening, Ordinals Marketplaces, I would love to do a GLB Ordinal
Yeah,
of the performance that I'm doing tonight. Get at me if y'all can make that happen. But I don't know if there's any marketplaces right
yeah.
now. I could be wrong. Please call me out if I'm wrong. I want to be wrong. I want to know that there are some Ordinals Marketplaces that I can use for my GLBs. But here's what I've done so far. because of size restrictions. Anyone who has knows anything about ordinals knows
Yes.
it's a lot of money in Bitcoin gas to mint, to inscribe your art onto the Bitcoin blockchain, right? So that you can then sell it. So you have to really invest. The bigger your file size, the more you have to pay.
Yes. Yes.
GLBs, aka the 3D sculpture file types that I need to mint or inscribe, are big. They're
Yes.
just big by nature. It's a 3D sculpture. It's obviously going to be bigger than a
Pixel art.
photo, a PNG, pixel art. Okay, right. Okay, don't even get me started. So, here's what I've done. My first ordinal ever is actually a photo. It's a still image of a VR
Mm.
performance. My most iconic one, which was commissioned by Paris Hilton for one of her
Whoa.
events. Yes.
Okay.
So it was that day, and it was on 11/11/22.
Oh, okay. Wow. Okay. Nice. Okay.
Beautiful day. I'm
Yes.
into numerology, so
Yeah.
that was, and Paris Hilton is like most iconic, hottest, most
Oh,
fabulous
if you don't
collector I've
know,
ever had.
I can prove this to you. Anyone who knows, if you go to my Discord,
Yeah.
rule number one in the Discord, and I will prove this right after, is do not disrespect Paris Hilton.
No
I
fucking
will literally
way.
show you that. That's rule number one. I will fight for Paris Hilton to the death. She is a pioneer in so many things, and
So many
reality
things.
TV, DJing as a celebrity, NFTs. It's dogs. Okay, you guys don't know. Dogs weren't this like living this posh lifestyle. Okay, I'm in Venice with dogs living the best lifestyle ever. Paris showed you that a dog could live that good. Okay, sorry.
Dogs deserve nice
They
lives,
deserve to live.
fabulous,
Yes,
amazing lives. And
yes.
yes, I love that. I love that Paris has always done that. And also, she's an advocate. Like, she's trying to pass legislations
Yeah,
to help children and all these things. Like, I mean, I feel she's deeply misunderstood.
100%.
And
Well, she
like,
plays dumb, and then people think it's real, and it's like,
right.
listen to her talk. I mean, actually, remember when she was on Jimmy Fallon, the infamous Jimmy Fallon appearance? People were like, "Whoa, she's so smart." It's like, of course she's so smart. Like she just is. It's a, sorry,
Yeah. I
you
love
got
you,
me triggered
Paris.
up.
Thank
Yeah.
you. And she does also, support women artists. Like,
Yes.
she would literally, I mean, I couldn't say enough. And she's just very sweet and very awesome.
Love that.
She's like a family woman now too, which is
Yeah.
it's just all so
Totally.
sweet.
Her story. I'm loving watching it. You know what I mean? She's gonna keep being iconic. I think for whatever, forever, probably. So.
Agreed. Agreed.
So right now, so you did your first one. You did it with Gamma, correct?
Yes.
Cool. So you did the still photograph from a
Of
Paris
that
Hilton
from that
commission.
performance.
Yes, amazing. So I
Yes.
can't wait.
So that's a photo of me and then the sculpture behind it. So it's
Beautiful.
not a GLB at
Yeah,
all. Yeah.
totally. So right now, what for are you looking at doing more?
Yes. So that is an open edition, open timed edition. Thanks to Brett at Gamma for setting that up, because that's something
Nice.
to have to do like wizardy behind the
Yeah.
scenes. So yeah, that's open only for a couple more days while I'm here in Nashville, and then once tonight's performance, tonight I'm performing at the Satoshi Social,
Sick.
right in line with the Bitcoin theme. So the performance that I do there, one of the photos that I take there will be my next ordinal.
Okay, awesome, awesome, cool. So you're gonna see what it is tonight. You could go see the performance. We don't know what the photo is yet, though.
You don't know
It's
what the
gonna be
photo
taken.
is,
Exactly.
but it'll
Okay.
be taken there
Okay.
tonight.
Well,
Yes.
so I could get in the photo if I just position myself correctly in the corner, and then okay.
Honestly, I'm probably gonna pick a photo where it's just me on the screen.
That makes sense.
But yeah,
Okay, I was hoping. Okay.
I don't want to get your hopes up.
No, beautiful, beautiful. No, it sounds fun. So I'm actually curious, since you've been such an OG for so long, what's been the difference between like the ETH community over into this ordinal Bitcoin world?
I don't know that I've noticed too much of a difference. I don't know. Maybe the Bitcoin people are just a little bit more like, maybe a little more posh sometimes.
Okay, okay, posh.
That's the
Okay,
only thing I could really
Hmm.
say. Just a little classier.
Classier. Okay, cool. Wow, you're really
Maybe
trashing ETH.
in
Okay,
some
now
ways. In some ways, I'm not trashing
no, I'm
ETH at all.
joking.
I love ETH. Love, love, love. Creatress.eth, Sarai.eth, Mexicanas.eth. Like, I love ETH,
Okay,
but
nice, nice. So yeah,
yeah,
well,
the
it might
originals is
be
cool.
different for like the if you're on the artist side, like artists are supporting artists. The builders, it's like they're two different, like they're fighting a war between each other of like it's easier over here, it's harder over here. So yeah,
I don't know what's easier or harder, but I know that I am meant to be an artist,
yeah,
and that's where I am. I'm staying in my lane forever.
beautiful, love that. So I'm actually curious because this is another thing what we're seeing right now is this ARXR VR, this world of like art that's exploding. It's starting to grow, and I think it's going to keep expanding. Right? I mean, nowadays, like a lot of kids, they just play VR games, and so saying there's art in VR, like, duh, I play Beat Saber all the time. Of course, there's going to be art here, right? So like, it feels like a scene is forming. Do you feel like that? Do you feel like you're part of a scene? Do you have a lot of other peers who are doing like you know, using similar tools and mediums, or do you feel like you're still like on your own pioneering something?
I wish I could say I feel like I'm on my own pioneering, but no, there's so many people that are doing 3D sculpting and VR art in some way or form. No one does what I do like I do
Mm,
it.
yeah.
Let's just get that straight. But there are many people doing similar or like slightly intersecting things that are amazing.
Mm.
And so, shout out to Denver Donkey, shout out to Tammy Levin, shout out to Action Dine Industries, shout out to, oh my gosh, I'm blanking out on so many people, but there are definitely other 3D artists that are they're doing stuff. Maybe not necessarily performing, but
Yeah, yeah,
sculpting in VR. Beat Saver, by the way, love Beat Saver. If anyone wants a fun game that gets you sweating and
yeah,
active in VR, Beat Saver. And I'm kind of a Star Wars nerd. I'm a tech girl. I'm a
yeah.
sci-fi girl, whatever. Uh, so Beat Saber very much feels like you got two lightsabers in your hand. And if you like dance and music and like
Oh,
it's
you will get sweaty so fast. I literally was like, I found out I was out of shape. I was like, let me try. Oh my god, I'm out of shape. Like I was
yeah,
like, it can't be that much. You're just
five
waving your
songs
arms
in,
around.
you're sweaty. You're yeah. So yeah, I love the VR games. That's really the only one I use.
Nice. I called the only. I did it. I guessed the random one. There you go.
It's a good one. It's a good one. Yeah. But yeah, I do see like kids becoming more interested in it too. I have a son. He's 12, and he's tried it a few times.
Yeah,
He
nice.
liked gorilla tag, where you're like a gorilla and you have to like move around with your
Yeah,
arms like this and like tag people and
yeah,
stuff.
yeah, yeah.
And then there was another one called I don't remember, but you're walking around. It's almost like a capture the flag game in
Mm.
zero gravity.
Oh, cool.
So that's another game he liked.
Nice.
But yeah, and then there's VR chat, which is always fun.
Oh, VR chat. It's wild. Yeah,
Right. And
yeah.
then you can wear any avatar you want. So I actually was on a talk show in VR
Oh,
chat once.
nice.
Yeah, so we're in a there's a couch and then there's like the desk with the
Yeah,
host and then the host had a cat. So it was another person
but
who
they're a
was
cat.
there, but their avatar was a cat. So the
Love
cat
that.
would like sit next to me on the couch and like it was yeah, VR chat's pretty fun
Love that.
for that sort of thing.
Yeah. Beautiful, beautiful. Okay, so before we wrap up here, so we got a performance tonight. So if you're in
Performance
Nashville,
tonight,
how do we
yes.
go see you perform?
Go to my X, my Twitter, right? X.com/Creatress art. And one of the most recent posts has an RSVP link. We've got over 600 RSVPs
Oh boy.
already.
Okay.
It's a place that's not going to hold 600 people. So
Yeah.
we'll get there early. It starts at 5. It's at Vibes Club here in downtown Nashville.
Nice.
And yeah, I'll be performing around 7 o'clock. It's a free event put on by Red Rug Entertainment, Shanice
Oh,
Profits.
great. Awesome.
Yes, and a lot of other partners. So shout out to everybody. They're tagged on the post. So
Beautiful.
yeah,
Awesome. Yeah, we
come
got it
by.
in the chat too. So anyone just go look at the chat and it's right there.
Amazing.
Beautiful. But before we wrap up, anything else you want to just, hey, this is the next thing that's coming. Follow me for this, for all the new fans, where do we look? I don't know, to get obsessed with you.
Okay. Oh my gosh. Creatressart.com is my official website. You can learn more about me, my past performances, my past artworks. Next up would be, I believe, Basel is one of the next things that I'll be planning on being at and performing
Miami?
at. Miami, yes, Basel, Miami, 2024 in December. So keep me in mind if you're producing any events and you'd like to include a live art performance. I swear it will make your event way more memorable
Yeah.
than it possibly could be. And let's see what else. Yeah, like I said, I'm looking for residencies and I really want to perform at the Sphere in Las Vegas.
Ooh,
So if anyone's listening, um, get in touch if you can help in any way, know where I should, Um, yeah, and then besides that, I'd really like to perform with more musicians
awesome.
at music festivals. So if anyone out there is listening knows a musician who would like to incorporate some live art into their
Totally.
set, 1 or 2 songs, I
Well,
don't
it's
need to
also
be up
such a
there the
win
whole
as a
time.
musician. Like you can take your visuals up on the step instead of like, here's some preset visuals, like boom, let's,
Live art being influenced by the music because that we don't really
yes,
talk about that so much, but like the music during the performance is what one of the things that is being shown on the sculpture. So I'm interpreting the
totally, yeah.
music as a sculpture
Totally,
essentially.
totally. Yeah, it's the thing. Even if you perform like live or even DJs, right? It's like they're affecting you, and then maybe hopefully they're watching you, and they can see where the vibes are going. It's a really
Yes.
unique, world to live in. So
Yes.
beautiful, awesome. All right, well,
More of
everyone,
that.
you're here tonight, you can see one version of that tonight. Okay, so make sure you check those links in the chat. Creatress, thank you so much for hanging out. I'm excited to see a performance tonight. Beautiful. So
Thank you so
thank you,
much for having
everyone.
me.